You're listening to Stories to Create with your host, Cornell Bunting. Author, motivational speaker, and founder of ES Each Episode. Cornell sits down with inspiring voices to uncover the stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. Get ready to listen, learn, and be inspired. The show starts now.
Yes, everyone, welcome to another episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at EOS Club. I am so excited today because our guest today grew up in Southwest Florida, attends the University of Florida, big Gator fan, and her career in communication have spanned corporate, agency, and nonprofit. She is currently communications lead at the Collaboratory where we are right now, and is here with us today. This is beautiful, guys. I gotta tell you, you're gonna be excited. So help me welcome Noelle Casagrande.
Well, thank you, Cornell, for having me, and nice to virtually meet all of the listeners today.
Yes.
Be part of the show, finally.
Yes, this is amazing. I got to tell you guys, this been coming, okay? We just wasn't sure when we were going to get her on the show, but it was coming, and I'm excited it's finally here.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. So this show, we go back with the listeners. And, you know, the listeners are going to be really excited to kind of get back into a little bit of Miss Casagrande's past. So we want to go back to as far as you can remember. How far back can you remember?
Ooh, I think it was probably 3 years old.
Whoa.
In New Jersey.
Ooh.
Before I was a Floridian.
Yeah.
Jersey girl at heart. I would say my parents were very socially active. I was always out at different events and parties and part of parades and all sorts of things.
Oh, my goodness.
And then when they moved me to Florida, I felt like I was being kidnapped at the time because all of our family was up there. But I couldn't be happier with that choice at this point. I love Southwest Florida. It's beautiful here. I call it home.
Oh, my goodness. Have you ever gone back to Jersey?
Yes. Pretty much every summer vacation consisted of the Jersey Shore and making the rounds across the state. Wouldn't trade that either. But,
there you go.
But yeah, it was always nice to sneak a trip in elsewhere.
I like that. So did you ever do any school up there in Jersey, or you did all your school in Florida?
All the schooling here, yes.
Wow. So you came to Florida pretty young.
Mm-hmm. 4 years old.
4 years old. Look at that right there. So when you got here, how'd you feel, you know, like coming here, change environment?
Well, the first thing was my accent, because we would say things like Florida and orange, and I had that Jersey slang going on a little bit, and how we said our last name, it should have been Casagrande, and then I started saying Casagrande, and so everyone was like, you got to get that in check, you're in Florida now. So I had to turn my ARs into ORs, get a little more on the Florida level.
That is amazing. So what was school life like?
So I went to private school, Catholic school, for 12 years.
Okay.
So St. Andrews in the Cape, and then Bishop Verot High School in Fort Myers, and then, as you mentioned, University of Florida. I really enjoyed school. I was really involved with it. Played a lot of sports, student government, all of that.
What?
But,
you were student government?
Yes, and a former homecoming queen. But
Whoa.
yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the schooling process. Faith and having that Catholic education really helped shape who I am today. And, you know, faith, I think, is and hope are two of the most important things that we can have.
Now, back then, did you have to wear uniform, or you wore regular clothes?
We did have uniforms. But then there was more shopping for fun clothes on the weekend, things like that.
Okay. This is good. So was it both boys and girls that went to that school?
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah.
Would have been a little boring, just us gals all together. So.
Just girls having
Good
conversation. That's good.
We were still separated at the 8th grade dances. You know, there's still boys on one side and girls on the other. You know how that goes. But,
okay.
Yeah.
So you went to school with a lot of shy boys.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're
You're still kind of shy.
Yeah.
Not you.
You never had a bold guy just walk up to you in school and say, "Hey, I want to go out with you."
Maybe one.
Yeah.
The rest are, they had inchwormed kind of, they subtle hints.
Yeah.
Not as direct. So, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other story and happy hour, perhaps, not Friday at 9.
Oh, my goodness. So, because you have like an Italian look, do you got a little bit of that mix in you?
Yes. So I am half Italian and half Czechoslovakian.
Wow.
But the last name Casagrande, a lot of people think I'm Spanish or Hispanic, which is fine. But my nickname growing up, also back to school, is Big House. Casagrande. No. So on the back of my sports jacket, Big House, and that was my name when the announcers would announce us on the sports field. So yes, Big House is my alter ego.
So when you became homecoming queen, what did that feel like?
I was really excited and just flattered and honored that everybody voted for me and respected me, and that a lot of work I had put into school and my campus involvement and sports.
Okay.
Sort of like, it was just really fulfilling that it came together like that.
So you kind of knew you were going to get.
I didn't know. I did not know. And it's funny that I even admitted that. But that was just like a moment where I'm like, wow, like, how kind of leaving your senior year on like feeling that good and helping that, building that confidence to then go to the University of Florida, which was a huge school.
Right.
And how was I going to get involved there and make a name for myself and carry those things that I learned in a smaller school setting into a campus with 30,000 people.
Wow.
But I'm glad I went away to school to have that experience in the culture, and the parties don't hurt either.
So walk us through that a little. What was the culture like?
Well, the University of Florida, I would say it's a college town. It is a true, like the city is basically built around the college.
Yeah.
But big football school, basketball. I jumped right into Greek life and student government and all these things. Everything was walking distance, and made lifelong friends. I started in physical therapy as a physical therapy major, and then had this moment where I was like, this is too repetitious for me. This is going to maybe be a little boring for my tempo. And then I discovered the College of Journalism and Communications. And so then totally shifted gears, which I had I call it my midlife crisis of college, because it's scary. I'm going to get it behind, changing it. But so I graduated with a degree in public relations and business.
Oh, nice.
So then that helped shape my next career path.
Okay, this is beautiful. So with what that looked like in college, because I know a lot of college kids say, they got to get into the frat and all that stuff. Was you a frat girl?
Yes, I was a frat. Well, sorority girl.
Sorority.
I didn't live in the frat house. I would they weren't the cleanest. But for me, my dad was Greek, and it helped make the campus smaller. And I ended up living in the sorority house for 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
So left the dorms and then was there, but it was actually more cost effective and also fun to live in the house and be on the meal plan and be on campus that close without having to rent an apartment and do all that separate. So I was just always very tied into the campus life.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So you had some sorority sisters.
Yes.
How many?
140.
No.
Yeah. And we still keep in touch, and we have reunions. And Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to the Bahamas with 2 of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So it is. It's really, college gave me a whole new kind of view of life. My biggest regret was not studying abroad. I wish I would have taken more time to kind of explore the world around that time in my life.
Did the opportunity ever came?
Not exactly. I interned over the summer, worked, saved money.
Yeah.
Again, I was really involved on campus, but I wish at that point of my life, in your 20, the whole backpacking vibe through Europe, I wish I did more exploring in that realm.
I hear you. This is beautiful. So now with the family, what does the family look like? How many siblings?
I am an only child.
No.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm a spoiled one, though. So that's always the next question. The next question is always, are you spoiled? Were you lonely growing up? Yes. Answer is no to the first one. And the second one, what I lacked in siblings, I made up for, I felt like, in friends.
Okay.
So I never felt lonely.
Okay.
And we had cats. I hung out with my cats.
Oh, what was your cat name?
There's a few of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I've had to beg for a dog, and then finally got the little toy fox terrier chihuahua looking thing, and that was as far as my mom would go on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Was you a good pet caregiver?
Probably according to my mom, not.
Yeah.
All the kids want the pets, and then they don't. But yes, later in life, and now I have my own dog that I try to keep alive because he's a little wild one.
Oh my goodness, he's all over the place.
Yes.
got fiery like yourself.
Yes.
This is good. So now you went into the feel of communication. Mm-hmm. What did that look like?
So to me, communications is community. Mm-hmm. It sounds the same. Mm-hmm. And it's about connecting people and mm-hmm. bringing people together, right. having a voice, elevating other people's voices. As you mentioned, my career started in agency life, right. Specialized in resorts and destinations. One of my big clients was the British Virgin Islands tourist board. So went down there a lot, hosted journalists, and then went to corporate communications for a big retailer that was headquartered here, or still right. is. And then I shifted to nonprofit, and I always felt this calling to the nonprofit arena. Okay. Right. I was really involved with a lot of nonprofits personally. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like with my life, and going back to, I guess, the theme of campus involvement and all that, service to others has been a key element of my life and priority.
That is beautiful. Now, doing community or understanding community with a lot of the concerns that individuals have now with what's going on and the shift that we're dealing with. Mm-hmm. What is your take on that?
Well, given my current role in the nonprofit arena, we have to keep a straight and narrow line and not be too go in one direction or the other. Right. So it's always playing that delicate balance. Yes. But me personally, among friend groups or family, sometimes we can agree to disagree and just respect each other's their experience. Their experiences and like their worldviews, their identities. We're all built differently. We've all had different things happen to us. We all have a story that shapes how we see the world. Yes. So who am I to tell anybody else whether how they feel or think is right or wrong?
I like that. What is one culture that intrigues you?
Culture?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I am Italian. I have to say the Italian culture. And I have been there. I've been there. And I've been to the UK. I played soccer in England.
Did you?
Yeah, in high school. My coach was from the UK and brought us over there we got it handed to us, but it's their big sport. It was a great experience though. But yeah, the Italian culture I love. It's very, to me, family oriented. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's just like real people and the connectivity of the communities there, especially in the more rural areas. I love that. Yeah. It's just a beautiful language and country.
I know they're kind of nicknamed aggressive hustlers.
There's that side of it too. a little fiery. Yeah. As you could say. And that brings up a good point of growing up with the Americanized version of the family. Whoever talks the loudest is the one who gets the answer or is heard, So that's the growing up in an Italian family. Sometimes it's the game of who is the loudest, which was always entertaining to me. Yeah. So maybe that's why I am the way I am. A little bit. Overly communicative.
Oh my goodness.
Had to get a word in.
So you had a lot of cousins.
Yes. So I had loud ones.
Yeah. And or is a few of them here in Florida or?
Most of the family's still back in Jersey.
Okay.
I have one in LA who's in the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. So yeah, pretty much in terms of family, we were the sole truckers down here from Jersey. And I thought that was progressive of my parents to just see an opportunity to come here and start fresh and bring me along for the ride.
I like that. Now, so they call Florida the Sunshine State for you listeners. Would you agree that it's really the Sunshine State?
Extra sunny.
Yeah. What day of the week do you look forward to?
I like Sundays.
Yeah?
Little Sunday fun day, whether it could be really calm and cozy or just a great day on the water. Yeah. And those Sunday sunsets, like just settling in from the week and preparing for the week ahead. And that's why I'm a West Coast girl too. It's Southwest Florida, because East Coast, you don't get those spectacular sunsets. And I'm a water girl, tried and true. I grew up boating and I have my captain's license. I mean, I don't actively drive 250-ton boats, but it was something I wanted to do just because I love the nautical life.
Yeah. Have you done it yet? Have you drove the boat?
I mean, I've driven boats, but not as an official captain.
I see.
So I have had my current career, and then that was just a little side fun thing that I thought about maybe at some point.
So one would figure, to drive boat and stuff. Have you gone fishing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't be a fishing guide per se, but I do enjoy it. So anytime that I'm not working and I'm not dressed up, I am all about the bathing suit, the Columbia shirt, the hat, get my sunglasses, and boating. Like when I'm not working, boating is my way to decompress and recharge.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
So not necessarily the biggest fish, but the strongest. When I was working for the British Virgin Islands tourist board, we went fishing on Anegada, a really remote island, and brought some fishing journalists. Yeah. And there's something called the bonefish. Yeah. And they're beautiful, and they're not too massive. I mean, maybe it was probably 9 inches or something like that, 10 inches. You know, I always say it's bigger than they actually are. Right. But they are the strongest fish per square inch. Wow. So when you fight them, it's like having like a tarpon on the line. They're just so strong, but they're smaller. Yeah. But that was a really fun experience, and took some gusto to get that.
How long did that take you?
20, 30 minutes, and that's with like the guide helping me. Yeah. Now, granted, my muscles were probably not up to spec at that point, but it landed me in a fishing book, so that was something. But but bone fishing in Anegada, it's an interesting sport, and they're strong little guys.
Now, the Virgins, that's owned by Mr. Branson, Richard?
He has Necker Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has Necker one Island. Of the islands.
Now, the company you worked for at the time, British.
They were one of our clients. So I worked for the Zimmerman Agency in Tallahassee. So the Gator girl went to Tallahassee. Okay. And that was my first PR rite of passage career. I worked in that big PR and advertising agency life. But it gave me the opportunity to travel to different places because we specialize in resorts and destinations.
That is amazing. Yeah. And I know our listeners that are Gator fan listening want to know, do you do the Gator stuff?
Oh, yeah. I'm president of the local Gator club here. Ooh. And Gator clubs are international, so there might be some Gators tuning in from elsewhere.
There you go.
Yes, we do a lot of fundraising for local high school students who got accepted to UF and get scholarship money out. And then, of course, go back for the games during the fall. And
how you feel about tailgating?
I mean, that's another thing that I live for.
Yeah?
Yeah. During football season, get together with friends and family and just the energy of the day. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, my goodness. You're good on the grill.
Moments, yeah.
You have your moments.
Yeah, depending what it is. Okay. But, steak, pretty decent at getting it, like a good medium or medium rare. Okay. It's always a goal. Yeah.
Then the sausage and all that other stuff is it's easy.
Yeah. Although I'm more of the one running around talking to people than sweating, standing behind the grill.
Oh, okay. So you're not a big fan of cooking then?
Cooking I can do, but not when I'm running around conversating.
Right, right.
Yeah.
If you have a host of people, don't expect for you to be cooking. You're having conversations.
I think I or like potluck. Everybody makes a couple little things, and I don't have to make the massive buffet of food.
Yeah. Yeah. The community you live in, what do you ever do that with the community, like potluck?
My friend, some of my friends and I get together and do things like that. And we love now the new trend here. I don't know if elsewhere, charcuterie boards. That's like the thing. It's all about making charcuterie boards. All the cheeses, the meats, the sauces, the fruit. Yes, and they're beautiful. They're fun for parties.
You know, it's funny you said that because I heard it, but I told my intern that said it to not touch on it yet. I'm going to find out about it before we talk on it. So I'm glad you just brought it up now.
Okay.
So it's about the meat,
all the little things that like a whole like sampler. So you get to just try all the pairings, and this cheese goes with this sauce, goes with this fruit or that meat, and nuts and olives and all sorts of delicious things. Sometimes it's boring to eat just one thing of the same, and that way you get to pick and try. Like tapas style.
Okay. Yeah. Now they say Italian does big on the sauce. And did that ever come off with you?
Yes. My family takes a lot of pride in making their own spaghetti sauce. Wow. So that's been a thing. Yes. So getting the taste right and all of that. Mm-hmm.
So you got that skill.
I don't know if it was genetic, but it might stop with me.
Yeah.
But yes, that's the idea.
Yeah. That's good. So spaghetti is a part of your favorite meal then?
Oh, yeah. I think when you have Italian blood, it's Italian food. It's just my favorite food is pizza, but it has to be done just right. Thin, crispy on the bottom, a little bit of the New York, New Jersey style pizza. They say it's something in the water. I don't know.
So too much crust is not done right.
Mm-mm. Too much crust, and it has to be crispy and like thin. It's like a necessity.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there is quite a bit happening now with individuals understanding their identity and where they want to go and what that look like. What does the discussions look like now? Or what are you hearing on a lot of the discussions? In
terms of like our community or I think we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
No pun intended. I mean, even myself, I am so grateful to be where I am in life and to have this role that I have and do the work that I'm doing. But we're always evolving and learning and navigating. And one part of your life could be going well in this area, then this starts to go. And that's why, to me, the community is so important, and being your authentic self.
Right.
Like even sharing all of this with you today. I'm not the most interesting person in the world. I'm pretty straight and narrow. Like it's kind of funny that I'm actually talking about all this, but I mean, there are the upsides to our stories and there are things that, of course I wouldn't share, in terms of my upbringing or things because but it's made me who I am. Mm-hmm. And then I use that as a platform to help and understand others if they've experienced similar things.
So you try to relate.
Mm-hmm. I always try to find some connectivity with somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I feel like at some level we're just human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there's something that connects us.
Why you think some don't be as aggressive with understanding information than others?
Well, I do feel like sometimes when people lose hope or faith or let discouragement take over their life too much. It's that saying they can't see the forest through the trees.
Right.
They just can't, and they kind of get in a cycle and a rhythm. Clearly, there's a lot of people out there struggling with addiction. How that gets in the way of authentic self and higher purpose. So again, that's where I do the work that I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like if more people could take ownership or take a minute to get in tune with how they really feel.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to sit in the ick. Sometimes you just sit in the ick of life and process it, and then you have to get out of the headspace. Have to.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every young person carries a story of hope, of struggle, of dreams waiting to rise. But in too many underserved communities, those stories go unheard.
At ease, Inc. Everyone has a story. We believe every voice deserves a chance. Through mentorship, empowering programs, and storytelling workshops, we help youth discover their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and build a future they can be proud of.
From classrooms in Jamaica to communities across Southwest Florida,
ES is changing lives,
one story at a time.
But we can't do it alone. Join us, become a mentor, volunteer, donate, help us fuel the next generation of leaders, creators, and change makers.
Visit ahazink.org today, because when you help a young person share their story, you help them change their world.
I like that. Hopefully you guys just heard that. That was good. So why Collaboratory?
So many reasons. Well, first off, I was a fan of the mission, and it's a big, bold, audacious mission before I started working here. But Collaboratory is committed to coordinating the solving of all of the region's social issues, all of them.
All of them.
18-year deadline. So we've gotten laughed at, like, how are they going to do that? Who do they think that they are? But we believe that we can, and we have a deadline, and we have a mantra around almost like how NASA
Yes.
got us to the moon in 9 years.
Right.
That's where the coordination comes in.
I like
we are
that.
coordinators, and we're not the experts, but we're bringing the people to the table through building teams and coalitions around major social issues, and setting North Stars for each of those with those leaders in the community to actually make change. You know, the way traditional community foundations work, it's some grants, but these problems are not getting solved. They're only getting worse. We see them on a national scale. We see them locally, even post-COVID. You know, we just had a major hurricane, devastating hurricane to our region this past fall, and how we build back from that around mental health and wellness and stable and attainable housing. And the list goes on of these social problems. But we feel like we have the right mix and the right ideas to actually change systems and how we've been operating as a community.
How many years have already since that? since
16. Pressure's on, 16 years. And why 18 years is because a child who was born 2 years ago, this community will look very different by the time they reach adult age.
This is very true. I like that. Wow. Now, I know you guys have set up discussions and stuff like that, but you have programs that are coming out that help to address that. What is that about?
Yeah, so right now we actually have a coalition onboarding and training. So these groups that have come together, for-profits, nonprofits, individuals who want to learn how to coordinate and collaborate. And we have people in the immigration space, we have people in the arts space, education, workforce, a major healthcare system, but how you bring people together and navigate egos and that competition to actually work on something collaboratively with a shared goal and a vision and build upon that. So that's how we are operating as a new way of community foundation thinking, and we're funding the bandwidth for this level of coordination on a scale never been done before.
Wow.
It's the greatest community problem-solving initiative in American history. That is what we are written in blood committed to do here.
Ooh, I like it. And you have a lot of passionate co-workers and the team. What does the team consist of?
Well, we have titles that are unheard of. Mine is typical communications lead, so people really know what I do. But we have an entanglements lead. Entanglements, because these social issues are all entangled. You know, broadband leads, or lack of broadband leads to isolation, which impacts mental health. Dogs are connected to domestic violence because a lot of women or children won't leave an abusive relationship because the shelters don't have dog kennels. Buses are connected to babies because of good maternal health and having healthy pregnancies. I mean, everything is connected to one. And so this entanglements lead, John Romine, he identifies all of these entanglements, and the science drives it. It's there. And then this is where we see where the energy is and the most need, and bring different groups together that can actually solve and untangle the one big gnarly mess that has become our society of problems.
Wow. Would you say foundation is a big thing to do with where we are now? Because I know we had chaos a couple of years back. Just a little bit. With what happened with the cop and an individual, but with just a lot of things that people wanted to get erased. You think because a lot of individuals don't read up on a lot of that stuff in the past, they don't fully understand the why?
Well, and I think that goes back to even more entanglements. I mean, and again, we have a nurturing lead on our team, Jason Teeters. And that's very important because we have to build trust and relationships and navigate egos and competition. I mean, nonprofits can actually collaborate. They don't have to work in silos and compete for the same dollars. You know, $2,500 here or $5,000 here. Like, there's a way to do it differently. Not saying that's not important to fund those certain projects, but it needs to be on a larger scale to actually change systems. And policy change is part of that. We have a public policy person on our team as well, because some of these things you can't change systemically without policy change.
Right. What does your guys' connection look like with the local government?
We have, in my opinion, we have a strong connection. Lee County government here, we have a partnership through the Recovery Task Force for Resilient Lee, a major hurricane recovery effort, which all of that work around natural resources and cultural resources and housing and infrastructure feeds into the other work we're doing around building these coalitions.
Right.
So it's all very synergistic at the end of the day.
Okay.
And, for us, again, we're a nonprofit. We're nonpartisan. At the end of the day, we have to work with whoever's in office.
Yes.
But it also building, again, trust and those relationships, and how can we do this together?
Right.
No one left behind.
Right. I like that. What does your relationship look like with your mom?
She's my best friend.
Is
she is my best friend, actually. She's definitely the most important person who has shaped who I am.
That's amazing. So you talk with her almost every week?
Yes.
This is good.
Almost every day.
Every day. There you go. So she's here and...
Yes, she's here in Fort Myers. Mm-hmm.
Does she ever go back to Jersey with you when you go?
In the past, she has. But her sister moved here, my godmother, and she's going to retire next year from St. Andrews, where I went to school, and then hopefully be able to work with animals.
I like that.
Yeah, that's been her dream.
So just from hearing what you're saying, what's your take on social injustice?
Well, from what I can say from the work that I'm doing right now, everything we do is through an equitable lens. That is at its foundation, that it's at its core. Even the On the Table initiative that we're going to talk a bit more about, that is about bringing everyone to the table. Everyone's voice matters, and elevating the voices of those in those communities who are not as heard. Or low income or rural or whatever it is, from inland to the coast, because it's just, this goes back to the system, that the way we're operating, people have been left behind. And they don't, and that's where some of that hopelessness and discouragement comes in. All right, well then this is just going to be the status quo. This is what it is. Civic engagement is important. Voter participation, all of those things. But if people feel like they don't have economic opportunity, they're not very motivated to get involved in grassroots community organizing and going to the polls. So it's back to that cycle again.
I like that. Now you said people are left behind, and people that are listening now that feel like they're left behind want to believe that. Do you feel a lot of organization acknowledge that as well?
I do feel like, every nonprofit or every company who has a charitable giving side of their business. I mean, every organization has for the most part, has some sort of heart to it. But it's what they actually do with it. And how they invest in changing that. So, and there are obviously, like we've been talking about, more people who are in tune with what's happening than others. Being aware. Yes. Awareness, the authorization to feel like you can do something. The acceptance piece. And it boils down to conversation, like what we're having today. At the end of the day.
I know now a lot of young people struggle with identity and getting approval from others. Why do you think we're still in that space right now? I thought we'd have already left that space.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And we have that same discussion here. There's so many adults that are having conversations about what kids want or students want, but no one's actually asking them. It's like there's meetings about children, but they're not in the room. So, and then that feeling of censorship sometimes, is the pressure on the schools and what's said and what's not said and all of that. And I feel like there's some discouragement there. And then there's the mental health component of kids feeling like they have a voice. And that what they say matters and what they're struggling with. And to feel like it's in a safe space, whereas adults, we're not going to assume or tell them how or judge how they should feel in any given situation. So I don't have the answer to that, but I know it's a conversation that my colleagues and I have, my friends, it's like we have to bring the kids and the students to the table.
for you growing up, because I know, from the sound of it, you had a great relationship with mom, so you pretty much tell mom everything.
Yes.
Did you have friends that you have to listen to that didn't want to tell their mom everything?
Yes. Yes. Not everybody had the same relationship, which is why I feel like ours is very special on that level. But mom is also the disciplinarian too. Don't get it twisted. So there's a little bit of like built-in fear and respect in there. But at the end of the day, I wasn't one of those rebellious teenagers. I was bratty when I was younger.
Okay.
I was a little more of a brat when I was younger, and we would butt heads. But then through my high school and college years, I'm grateful that I had a mom who listens so much and understands.
That is
not
beautiful.
Everybody has that.
That is beautiful. At the table.
Yes, on the table.
On the table.
Yes.
How did that even get acknowledged?
So this On the Table, Southwest Florida, was actually brought here in 2019 by Sarah Owen, President and CEO of Collaboratory. And it is a national model that drives community change. Our big conversation is going to be next Thursday, March 30th.
Oh, yeah,
it's a one-day regional conversation. Collaboratory is partnered with the other local community foundations.
Right.
And literally rallying possibility thinkers and convening problem solvers to just sit around a table, have a meal, share a snack, a cup of coffee, and talk about their ideas to strengthen our community.
Right.
And it can be anything that they want to talk about. They register online. The website is onthetableswfl.com. So
Right.
you can host a table or you can join a table. You get a really cool swag bag host toolkit to set up your discussion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to survey all of the participants.
Okay.
We're partnered with Florida Gulf Coast University, a big university down here, and they are going to aggregate all of those results and put them in a giant community impact report that is going to be shared with everyone who participated.
Wow.
So we can all see as a region where the biggest issues are, what are the takeaways, how does it drive the work of the foundations,
right?
Feeding into some of those social issues we talked about, but then everyone who had a voice at the table to see how their voices were elevated around the issues that matter most to them.
Right. I like that, because then you have people that feel like their voice are never heard even when they say something. You guys are telling them your voice is being heard.
Yes, and this is why it's so important as we're actively recruiting hosts around the region that we hit the areas outside of the major cities.
Right.
The rural inland communities, the low income neighborhoods, high crime neighborhood, anything that we are activating and rallying these voices and reaching out to everyone. Everyone is welcome at this table.
Do you think it's hard to get to individuals in the high crime communities?
It is. It is difficult. And we tend to reach out to those we know.
Yeah.
And it's not as sometimes comfortable for other people to outreach to certain groups. And then back to having people understand why they should care about it.
Right.
Why should they care to do that? And everyone's busy and everyone's this, or maybe somebody's discouraged, doesn't feel like, why would I waste time doing that?
Right.
But then it's amazing to see, again, bringing community and conversation together when people, it's kind of like who's going to talk first sometimes at the table.
Right.
And then when one person starts talking, then other people jump in and it just spirals. It's a beautiful thing. That is beautiful.
What does communication mean to you? As from everything that you've been doing and what that looks like, with people understanding the importance of communication. Because, like one would meet a couple that has been together for 50 or 60 years and like, how did that happen? And they give you one word: communication. Why is it so hard for a lot of people to understand the importance?
It's the root of humanity. It's just like it's the basis for humanity and conveying a message and sharing emotion.
Right.
And communities are built off of that.
Right.
And for some people, I know it's easier or harder for others. But that's where we have to be empathetic and find common ground.
I like that. And would you agree then that it is very challenging for a lot of individuals that's trying to understand how to communicate with an introvert?
Right. Well, and for introverts, and they can sometimes turn it on when they have to, but can kind of crash after. Like, that was a lot. Just had to work a room.
Yeah.
And we all need our downtime. But I would say, even past introvert or extrovert, all of us still innately struggle with fear of rejection,
right?
Fear of lack of acceptance. And to me personally, that would drive communication barriers.
Right.
For me, if I feel like, oh, if I'm going to say that and that person might judge me or not accept me for who I am because I said that. Right. And I feel like that's from what I've experienced in my life, some themes around why people are afraid to share.
Right. What would your message be to someone that would be afraid to share? Like, I don't want them to think I really don't know what I'm saying.
I think it's like help me understand, or like I want to see you as a person. Yeah. I want to understand. Yeah. I'm not scary. Yeah. Give it a whirl. Yeah. Like
give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I like that. Now moving into, because we're in 2013, we're moving and generation to generation, there's shifts and all these things. You think we are now? I think more now is understanding where we are and where we're heading.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a shift where, just what you could see macro, people are speaking up. They are having more of a voice, I feel like, from all walks of life. Right. But how we organize that, how we channel it to actually drive change is another story. Right. Because it does feel, with the more voices at the table, then there could be more headbutting too. Yeah, so it's how you approach it, and through the right lens of love, empathy, understanding. Yes. And it's very hard to do that as a society sometimes. Yeah. And that's why the responsibility falls on the individual level.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I feel like, and that's one thing I just talk with a brother on, is us understanding respect, and valuing everyone's opinion, even if it's not something that we want to take, but valuing it at face value, or whatever that looks like. Yeah. You think, because I know, when you, and I said this yesterday, you put 30 kids in a room and you teach them on a specific topic. There is probably a 95% chance that maybe a half of them will come out with a full understanding.
Well, again, back to kids. They have some of the best ideas. If you listen to them, and before egos are formed, before that, the ego-driven self, before that comes to light, that I think is one of the most magical things for kids to have ideas and share possibilities. Right. Because a lot of times as adults, we harp more on the impossibilities or the why things can't happen. Right. Not what if they did, or how could they. Right. So that's something that we talk a lot about here at Collaboratory. Yeah. It's like this magical possibility thinking.
I like that. You think ego hinders a lot of individuals' capability sometimes?
Yeah, and also maybe just being told no. Right. Get back to upbringing, or back to certain teachers, whoever it is, that we start to instill this, oh, I guess that can't happen, or, oh, how would I do that anyway? Or it's too hard. Yeah. The most rewarding things in life we know are hard. Look at Olympic athletes.
Yeah, this is true. As an achieving woman that have achieved so much over the years, what would you say is your favorite subject?
My favorite subject? Well, I just have to go back to the naughty life, NAUTI, okay. And just my love of the water and marine life, and great white sharks are actually my favorite animal. I've dove with them at Guadalupe Islands a couple of years ago, a major bucket list check. What? So I would say marine life, marine biology. Environment is a huge personal passion of mine.
Under the sea.
Yes, and also water quality. Without clean water, our world's not going to do so great. So protecting our beautiful natural resources that sustain life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's so interesting. You have swam with the sharks.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And great whites have blue eyes, not black eyes.
Do they really?
And they stare at you like you're a little sea monkey.
Yeah.
Because we're staring at them and they're staring at us. But I mean, how quiet it is and how majestic, and the humility of how small we are as humans, and being next to a 20-foot shark and seeing face to face, just beautiful.
Did you get to hold its fin and it took
No,
you?
they kind of discouraged to put your hand out of the cage. It was in a cage.
Oh,
but sometimes they get stuck in them.
Yeah.
It gets a little dicey. But no, it was just something I had to do. But I think just seeing the world and understanding cultures is a big goal of mine for the second half of my life. Going to Africa, going around and just spending time in other cultures and fresh perspectives.
Yeah. I have a friend that's in Africa right now, and she just loves it over there. Big ups, you know who I'm talking about. She listened to my show every week too, so it's good. I won't say her name, so no one will go to find you. It's okay. She likes to be discreet a little bit, So, as a fiery individual as you are, what one song gets you fired up in the morning before you take foot out the door?
I would have to say I'm a Sia fan. Sia,
oh, yeah?
And there's a song, Courage to Change.
Courage to Change.
And it is, to me, it speaks about having courage every day.
Right.
To do good work, to show face, to show up, to choose positivity.
I like that.
There's like haters out there, you know how you navigate that.
Right.
Courage to change, and also courage to change the people around us for good and our communities. And it just gets me really fired up about the possibilities.
Right.
Yes.
That is
Sia,
so
encouraging.
Wow. Sia, Courage to Change. For listeners, because this has been so motivating to our listeners, what would you say to that listener that feel like just they've been trying for so many years and they're still getting rejected, doors closed in their face? What would you say to them?
I think there's two parts of it. One is to look within yourself, and I've been learning more about root cause healing, just in yourself.
Right.
And are you showing up as your best self?
Right.
What are you trying to do? How are you trying to do it if you're constantly getting rejected? And to take care of what's in here. Back to everyone has a story and any traumas that we've all had. So root cause healing is so important. So we shine within to the outside. And I would say, there's a little saying, don't give up. But you feel passionate about something enough and you have put the work in. I firmly believe in the karma of life. Yeah. And that what you put into something is what you get out of it. And it may not look like what you want it to look like. Right. But it might morph or transform into something else, and being open to things not going according to our plan, because there's a higher one up there. And there's that plan, which is sometimes different than ours. Yeah.
From an individual here in Southwest Florida, for listeners that have never been to Southwest Florida, what would you say to them?
Please come for our magical sunsets, waterfront destinations, and it is still a sense of community here. It's not, we're not a big city. We have just really quaint, beautiful, charming areas to spend time, and white sandy beaches, and just there's good people here.
I like that.
Yeah, good people.
Oh my goodness, this has been beautiful. You have helped to create a story today. I got to tell you, I was really intrigued. Now I'm like, man, we got to talk again at some point. Isn't good.
Yeah, this has been therapeutic for me too, because I don't always share thoughts and feelings like this. So
I love it.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Oh, you are very welcome. For individuals that maybe want to come in a conversation with you or whatever that looks like, how can they find you? How can they follow you?
Well, I would say check out our website, collaboratory.org, collaboratory.org, and my contact's on there.
Okay.
You can meet the team and read more about what we're doing here, and love to connect and have a conversation.
This is good.
And we will also be having on the table conversations here on the 30th. Collaboratory is open for whoever would like to come and share space, have a conversation.
Yes.
So please reach out to me if you're interested.
Yes, everyone. And just so you guys know, I'm actually one of those individuals at the table. So it's going to be, I'm excited.
You might be the most sought after host because you host
yes.
for this. So, yeah.
This is good. I'm really excited. And I want to thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for opening up the way you have.
Thank you. Thank you for the thought-provoking questions.
This is good. I didn't do too bad, right?
Not too shabby.
Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to a next episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at EOS Club. Until next week, when we talk to our next interesting guests, and they take us back, way back, as Miss Casagrande took us back today. We're out.
Thanks for tuning in and downloading this episode of Stories to Create. We appreciate you being part of this growing community of storytellers and listeners. If today's conversation inspired you, please share the show with friends, family, or anyone who could use a little motivation in their journey. A special thank you to our sponsors, EHAS Organization, Cornell Bunting LLC, and Nostril Cheese Chase for supporting the mission and making this podcast possible. To learn more about our work, upcoming projects, and how you can get involved, be sure to visit www.hissinggorge and www.cornellbunting.com. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story has power.